Tyreek Hill, guys, has kind of been the center of trade rumors for the last, I don't know, since before the Super Bowl. Ever since he had his little his moments in New York and MetLife Stadium when the Jets beat the Miami Dolphins, like, I want out of here, peace out. Like, it is hard to be happy with, like, when you're not winning. I'm paraphrasing, kind of putting my words into his, into his words there. But long story short, Tyreek Hill wanted out. And now he kind of nixed that. Now he's kind of come back, and the rumors are starting to flying around again. And rumors are trying to float around. I'm just saying they're trying to float around that Tyreek Hill wants out of Miami. Now, he has been seen, giving peace signs like, hey, to Miami, right? But there was a article by NFL Rumors over there on the old Twitter machine saying that Tyreek Hill is open to receiving a trade-in. He would gladly accept the trade, and Tyreek Hill quickly shut that down on X today. And he said that he is happy in Miami and he doesn't want to get traded. But guys, we got to talk about this. What if Miami was to trade Tyreek Hill? What if Tyreek Hill really wanted out? What if Mike McDaniels wanted to trade Tyreek Hill to a team right there? What team would be a great suitor? What team would get out there and really be a great fit for Tyreek Hill? Guys, let's not get it twisted. There is no question that Tyreek Hill was a top receiver in the NFL. He had 6 seasons over 1,000 yards, including 4 in a row from 2020 to 2023. 2 with Kansas City and 2 with the Miami freaking Dolphins. Now, he would have broke 1,000 yards last season if it wasn't for injuries both from him and Tua, but it is what it is. He ended up with 956 yards. Now, we have seen Tyreek Hill lose his cool. We've seen him blow up last season, saying that he wants out of Miami. And a few weeks later, he kind of backed off of those comments, right? Whether it was said by the owner or general manager saying, hey, you better back off these comments, or if it was actually his words himself, that is a story for a different day. But let's keep it 100. He did say that he wanted out of Miami. But we all kept thinking that he legitimately wants out of Miami. Ever since he said those comments, still today, I still think he legitimately wants out of Miami. But what team would be a great fit for him? Now, there are teams out there that I think could potentially use the services of a Tyreek Hill. Many of the Kansas City Chiefs fan. I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan, but I'm going to exclude myself from this conversation. Many Kansas City Chiefs fans are saying, come back to Kansas City. Let's run it back. Stop. Please do not do that. Tyreek Hill is not a good fit in Kansas City right now. Tyreek Hill is not a fit in Kansas City as of right now. Ever since Tyreek Hill left back in 2021, I believe it was, Patrick Mahomes grew as a player. The Kansas City Chiefs grew as a team, right? The Kansas City Chiefs became great without Tyreek Hill. Addition by subtraction, right? Let's just get that started. Let's just get that out there. Stop that right there. Bada bing, bada boom. It is out, right? So let's start with a broad list. Let's start off on the bottom of the pyramid and start to narrow it down to a team that would fit Tyreek Hill. What teams need receivers out there? What team out there in this NFL draft is going to draft, more than likely, draft a receiver? The Carolina Panthers, they need a receiver. Dallas Cowboys, Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders, New Orleans Saints, Seattle Seahawks, and the Washington Commanders. So let's quickly narrow down the list, because I think Tyreek Hill would not want to get traded to a non-Super Bowl competing team, a team that's not going to win the Super Bowl right now. So that crosses the Panthers off the list. That crosses the Raiders off the list. That crosses the Saints off the list, the Seahawks, and we can just go ahead and cross all those teams off of the list. So that leaves us with the Broncos, Cowboys, and the Commanders. Now, if I'm a Denver Broncos fan, if I'm the front office of the Denver Broncos, I do not want to think about bringing Tyreek Hill into town. I do not want to bring in a ego, a cancer, a diva like Tyreek Hill into Denver, into Mile High Stadium. Bo Nix is growing at a rate that Tyreek Hill will probably stunt that growth. Let's just be flat out honest. Tyreek Hill might destroy that young nucleus in Denver that they have built, and they had very much success last season in 2024. So I think the Broncos are out. That leaves us the Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have already shown that they don't like to make off-season moves. They don't like to go out there and sign a big name. They don't like to go out there and make a big trade. Their big offseason move this offseason was signing Turpin to a 3-year deal. Like, stop it. That is dumb. So that kicks the Cowboys to the curves. So that leaves one team and one team only. That would be a good suitor, in my opinion, actually a great suitor in Tyreek Hill, and that would be the Washington Commanders. The Commanders did already trade for Deebo Samuels. Yes, I understand that. And they just picked up former Dallas Cowboy Michael Gallup as well. Their receiving room right now is Scary Terry McLaurin, my bad, Deebo, Noah Brown, Michael Gallup, and Luke McCaffrey. Adding Tyreek Hill would instantly make him a number 2, if not a number 1 receiver in that room. So logically, it makes sense. Financially, they have the room to bring him on. But the real question is, would Tyreek Hill be willing to be a number 2 receiver? Probably not. Would he be a good growth? Would he stunt the growth of Jaden Daniels? Probably not. But the Commanders, like I said, do have the cap room. They do have the coaching, and they do have the backbone to support a player like Tyreek Hill. So if Tyreek Hill, guys, were to get traded, if I'm the Washington Commanders, and only the Washington Commanders, I would be entertaining the idea of bringing Tyreek Hill into Washington, D.C., into the nation's capital. But only if the price is right. 3rd round pick, late 2nd round pick. It would definitely have to favor my position to bring in a receiver like Tyreek Hill. So, guys, when you hear that Tyreek Hill could potentially be traded to a team, what team do you think he fits? What NFL team out there would be a great suitor? What do you guys think? Old Man River says, kid is making a locker room a cancer, period. And Old Man River, you are not wrong, right? Obviously, we have spoke on a lot of wide receivers in the last week or two, right? It seems like every show that we are talking about a wide receiver and their ego and their cancer and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I think we're all kind of in agreement. We all kind of understand that being a great wide receiver in the NFL requires a little bit of ego. It requires a lot of ego. It requires to have the selfish me attitude, because if you do not have the me attitude, the quarterback will quickly look the other way, even though he does not think you are open. So let's just be honest. So is he a cancer? I don't know, right? Obviously in Kansas City, I feel that he was a cancer because everybody and their dog knew that he was a top 5, maybe the best receiver in the NFL. Everybody and their dog knew that he was looking for that big payday. Everybody and their dog knew that Patrick Mahomes was forcing Tyreek Hill to hold the ball in that final season in Kansas City to try to keep him happy, to keep him there, and maybe to, quote, run it back, right? But, yes, cancer and elite wide receiver kind of right now go hand in hand. Stephon Diggs, you can probably put Jamar Chase up there. You can definitely put A.J. Brown up there, and now Tyreek Hill, right? It's just... I think it's just the nature of the beast at the end of the day. Real McCoy is here today. What's up, Real McCoy? Glad you are back today here, man. He says he went to Miami for the payday. And Real McCoy, as on the surface, everything seems to be that way, right? Everything seems that he went to Miami because he said no to the Kansas City Chiefs offer. The Kansas City Chiefs put his name out there on the trading block, and he got laid to get paid, right? But he has, since then, he has come out on his own podcast while streaming games and like whatnot. He did say that he would take less money to stay in Kansas City, but Drew Rosenhaus, which was his agent, jumped the gun and went to Miami and got him a deal, and they got him a deal that the Kansas City Chiefs couldn't say no to. So, as he did get paid in Miami, I think he would have probably hypothetically have stayed in Kansas City for a little bit less, for a chance to win multiple Super Bowls. Now, would the Kansas City Chiefs have won multiple Super Bowls with Tyreek Hill, meaning back-to-back and potentially a three-peat? I am saying no. I am saying no. The reason that I'm saying no is because when Tyreek Hill left Kansas City, it forced Patrick Mahomes to use the whole field. When Tyreek Hill left Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs did not have a number one receiver, aka Rashid Rice, until that playoff push. Nobody knew who was getting the ball, and that made the Kansas City Chiefs very, very dangerous. If the Kansas City Chiefs and Tyreek Hill would have stayed married, we would have known who the number one guy is. They would have known who to double team. You get him frustrated, start to be a cancer in the locker room. Everything starts to fall apart. So Matt Henry, our resident Bear fan, is in the chat today. Matt, you're also a Ohio State guy, right? Wait, what do you think about Will Howard going to Pittsburgh Steelers, baby? But what's up, Matt? What's up? Matt.
Pigskin Pun. Get you some.
Guys, click on the membership tab below. Become a Pigskin Pun. It was $4.99 a month. You get some free merch. You get hoodies. You get t-shirts. You get hats. You get free entry into our $1,000 weekly NFL giveaways once the NFL season does start. Speaking of Man Hour and Pigskin Puns, what's up, Derek? Derek is in the chat today. Hope you're having a good day, Derek. And Alpha Rob says, you know what? Teams on the West Coast for Tyreek Hill makes sense. Meaning the LA Chargers, meaning the Las Vegas Raiders, meaning the San Francisco 49ers. Those all make sense in Alpha Rob's eyes. And Alpha Rob, the Chargers definitely need a prolific playmaker wide receiver. Ladd McConkey probably isn't the guy. Mike Williams is back there in Chargers the last I knew. I think he signed, like a 1-year deal, maybe a two-year deal. He is not the guy. And rumors are that Keenan Allen is going to come back to LA to become a Charger as well. Obviously, he is not the guy that he was just 2, 3, 4 years ago. So Chargers do make sense, right? However, they're not desperate. They don't need a guy. So that is why they did not make my short list there of the who was it? The Panthers, Cowboys, Broncos, Raiders, Saints, Seahawks, and Commanders. Those are the 5-6 teams that I think are that will be drafting a wide receiver in the upcoming draft, with about 25 days away or days or so. That is why they made the short list. Raiders obviously make sense, but I think Tyreek Hill wants to go to a Super Bowl contending team. And I'm not trying to dog the Raiders today, guys. Like, normally I'm a Raiders hater, right? But I'm not trying to dog the Raiders today. I don't think they're ready to win a Super Bowl right now. So Tyreek Hill, peace out there, right? And the San Francisco 49ers, who knows what they're doing? Like, let's just be honest, right? They traded Debo. They're cutting everybody on the defense. The offensive line's getting scrapped out as well. The rumor is probably by tomorrow we are going to find out if Brandon Ayuk gets traded or not. So we don't really know what is going on truly over there in old San Francisco. So if Tyreek Hill was a potential candidate to go to San Francisco, I feel like it would quickly be nixed. He'd be like, thanks, but no thanks at the end of the day there. But the Raiders would probably make sense. And Old Man River says, why not Canada? Go join Trey Lance. Go become a roughneck. Go be like Buck and be a blue bomber, right? Go to Canada. He would not thrive in Canada. I just want to put it out there. Alpha Rob says the Cowboys. Jerry will do that. Alpha Rob, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Granted, we did break up last year, but I am that crazy ex. I've been stalking the Dallas Cowboys. I stalk them. I stalk their Facebook page. I stalk their X page. I go to Instagram. I have them on Snapchat still. Sometimes I text them and then delete it again. I still love the Dallas Cowboys, right? But I'm so mad about the Dallas Cowboys. We broke up last season, and I don't see us ever getting back together. But Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, for some reason, they are so hell-bent of building through the draft. They are so hell-bent of developing the players that they have that they are afraid to admit that they are wrong. They are afraid to admit that, hey, we could have used the services of Derrick Henry last season. We could have went out and got Saquon Barkley. Jerry Jones would not trade for Tyreek Hill, as it would be must-see TV, as it would be awesome, as it would be putting the Dallas Cowboys front and center each and every week. CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Turpin, the fastest wide receiver core in the whole NFL, right? It would be magical on ESPN. My God, they would be getting off. But for some reason, Jerry Jones is just afraid to make that move. Jerry Jones is afraid to just pull the trigger and do anything that resembly that could, I guess, realistically help the Dallas Cowboys. Like signing Turpin did not help the Dallas Cowboys. Restructuring CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott to legitimately do nothing did not help the Dallas Cowboys. Like it helped its pocketbook a little bit. It made us talk about them. Hey, are they going to bring in a Tyreek Hill? Are they going to make a trade for Myles Garrett? It is tough being a Cowboys fan. It is tough. It is tough. It is tough. Old Man River says, what about Arizona? Listen, Arizona would make sense, right? If you want to flash back a couple days, a couple weeks, or whatever it's been, I said Amari Cooper to the Arizona Cardinals would be perfect. I said that Amari Cooper could potentially put the Arizona Cardinals in the playoffs, jumping the Seattle Seahawks, jumping the San Francisco 49ers, not winning the division, but making them a legitimate threat in the NFC. And I believe it was Alpha Rob and maybe some other people said, hey, you know what? Amari Cooper's washed up. Let's say he is washed up. Let's say he doesn't sign with anybody. Tyreek Hill to the Arizona Cardinals would help Marvin Harrison Jr., would help Zay Jones, would help James Conner and Trey McBride. The only thing I would be worried about is the ability of Kyler Murray to get Tyreek Hill the ball. Does he have the arm strength? Does he have the ability to stay in the pocket and extend the plays and see over the line? We know he's like 5'7", 5'8". Can he do that? Let's Go Sports says, what's up? What is up? Let's Go Sports. Glad you're here today, brother. He says, I do not think Tyreek Hill and Debo would be good for that locker room. But if it does happen, the Commanders are automatically top of the league. When I think of Debo Samuel, Let's Go Sports and rest of Man Hour Nation here, guys. Thank you guys for joining us here as always. Be sure to hit that like button and share button if you're enjoying the content. I've never really understood that Debo, or I never got the feeling that Debo is a diva, a cancer, a me type of guy, right? I've never heard really anything bad about Debo. Yes, he wanted to get a little bit of bread. Who doesn't want to get a little bit of bread? Yes, he was upset that he was not getting paid like a top receiver in the league when the San Francisco 49ers were running him in the dirt before Christian McCaffrey came, right? He was the running back. He was their star receiver. He was their tight end. Hell, he was a quarterback, right? They were legitimately running him into the dirt. And every player has the right to voice like, hey man, like, come on, dog. Like I enjoy getting the ball, but you are legitimately tearing me apart by making me be a running back and a quarterback and this and this and this. And ever since they brought in Christian McCaffrey from the Panthers into the San Francisco 49ers, I didn't hear Debo bitch, gripe, or nothing about nothing, right? Now, I could be wrong. I could just not be reading the right could not be reading the right articles, could not be listening to the right people, but I have not heard anything bad about Debo. Now, would Debo Samuel be willing to take that number 3 receiver position? Would Tyreek Hill be willing to take that number 3 position? Like, that is the biggest question. Yes, on paper, good Lord, that would be dangerous, right? With a hot, young, potentially top 5 quarterback in Jaden Daniels in 2025. A former could be, again, top 5 receiver in the NFL, Tyreek Hill, matched with solid stud receivers with Scary Terry and Debo. Like, that offense could be very, very dangerous, right? Plus with like the 10 draft picks that they got. Hell, let's Go Sports. Like, I gotta want to get too carried away because it is March the 31st, we still have April, May, June, July, right? Before we show 4 months until we really start breaking down the schedules, giving the win-loss totals, that kind of thing going into the 2025 NFL season. But all indications point that the Commanders are going to be top of the league as is. All indications point to me that the Washington Commanders will be them. But Tyreek Hill onto that roster, whew, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Alpha Rob says, "Who was a girl who broke her leg banging her?" So, Alpha Rob, from the story that I understand, per the court case, right? Tyreek Hill likes big women, big boobs, big butt, big in the belly. He likes big white women, which most little black men do, right? If you are a little black man, you're more than likely going to be dating a larger white woman, especially during tax season. Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. But from what I understand of that story is that the girl's kid attended one of Tyreek Hill's camps. Tyreek Hill saw the baby mama. It's like, damn, that girl fine. Son, you need some personal one-on-one lessons. So he went to her house and was showing her how to do the drills, how to get her son better, get him into the NFL, into college, whatever, right? And she come up and press him, and he did a little bit jump, and she tripped and broke her leg. Now, did they end up banging? Maybe. But that lawsuit quickly got swept away. Let's Go Sports says, Chargers have a lot of number 2 receivers, but not a number 1. I think he makes the Chargers a deep playoff run contending team, but not Super Bowl contenders, if that makes difference to him. And Tyreek Hill has won a Super Bowl ring, right? He has won Super Bowl ring with the Kansas City Chiefs back in 2021, right? Obviously, Tyreek Hill was a elite receiver in the NFL. What better way to submit his legacy, to put a feather in his cap, by going to a rival team like the LA Chargers and to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West, to dethrone the Buffalo Bills, to dethrone the Baltimore Ravens, to make this team that is presumably a wide receiver core a way to making deep playoff threats. Let's just be honest. Their defense is pretty good. Justin Herbert's a top 10 quarterback, top 12 quarterback in the NFL. They got the head coach. They got the running game. They're missing receivers, right? That would be a staple of feather in Tyreek Hill's hat. That would get Tyreek Hill off. He would have 10 more kids in California. So he would have 9 kids in Florida, 2 in Kansas City, and then 10 more in California, man. He would be across the whole country, right? I mean, yes, I think you are right. I think Tyreek Hill to the Chargers definitely makes them a deep Super Bowl run, meaning they will probably make it to the AFC Championship game, if not a divisional round. Winning one game in the playoffs for a team like the Chargers, Broncos, Raiders in the playoffs is a deep run. But yes, Let's Go Sports. I agree with you on that. I think Tyreek Hill going to LA makes them a deep playoff contender. What would make them a Super Bowl contender raises my mind. Makes me pop that eye, giving the people's eyebrow, right?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
For them to be a Super Bowl contender, they would have to have a little bit more running game, right? Did they let Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins walk? Well, one of those running backs walked, so the running back room's a little bit thin. But if you can get Tyreek Hill in there, draft a running back. Hey, Kansas City Chiefs, we're already worried about the Chargers. Let's just be honest. We are already worried about the Chargers. Chargers always play the Chiefs well. Getting to the playoffs, Harbaugh's first season, granted they lost to the Texans, probably could have potentially beat the Texans if they just had a little bit more offensive firepower. They are a Tyreek Hill away. Alpha Rob says, slow it down, baby. Come on, Buck. You know we'll be back with Dallas if they start looking at 5-1 and looking good. Hey, I said I'm the Crazy X, Alpha Rob. I said I am the Crazy X. I am stalking that Facebook. I am stalking that Instagram. I'm stalking that X account. The minute they start to put on a little bit of makeup, the minute people are starting to want that Dallas Cowboys, the minute they start to look a little bit juicy in the booty, I'm coming, baby. I'm coming. Let's not get it twisted. I'm coming. Let's Go Sports says Jerry Jones will go all out to trade for a terrible player, but not try to get a good, super good player at that position. That is why I laugh at the Cowboys. And listen, that's why everybody laughs at the Cowboys. Me as a Cowboys hater now. I'm not a hater. I still love them. But that's why people do not trust anything that Jerry Jones says. Because he's talking out both sides of his mouth every time he speaks. We're all in. Hey, let's sign Turpin. We are going to be selectively aggressive. Yes, I know his son said that, but stop it. Good Lord. Stop it. Derek says it would be a long shot. How long Dax is going to be there? I'm not for sure what you're saying. How long will Dax be there? Derek, I'm not 100% sure what you're saying, but Tyreek Hill